Welcome back. We enjoyed half-time here. Neil's very inspirational half-time talk, and we learned one or two things we didn't know already, didn't we? James Gregg, as we always do, and it's always the most interesting part of every show. We should show it live, really, shouldn't we, at half-time? Nick Matthews still here, Neil Warnock still here. James is going to round everything up shortly, but you've got a little game on Saturday, local derby against Leeds United, one of your former clubs, but also the former club of your assistant manager, Kevin Blackwell. You've both managed Leeds. What a lot. And Steve Evans, of course, got 2 promotions for Rotherham. So what a lot of storylines there.
Yeah, it'll be, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be about the players. But all the, I would
Try
imagine
telling
all
the press
cameras,
that. Try telling the
I know, they'll all be talking about everything,
Yeah.
like you just mentioned, really, won't they? Because that's what grabs the papers, you know. But it's a fabulous occasion. I mean, for a club like Rotherham, to be holding their own in that division, it's fun. It's a great achievement, and you know, full house. They sold out early doors this week, early doors, and it promises to be exciting. You know, Steve coming back, who did you know, the promotions here. I left Leeds, Kevin left Leeds. You know, I mean, I was a bit disappointed leaving Leeds, if I'm honest, because when we sold Snodgrass like late on in the summer before the season, and I was promised quite a bit of money from that, and which in the 48 hours changed to nothing. So I felt a little bit let down, if I'm honest. And you know, I tried to help GFH get in, and then they proved a disaster as well. So you know, but I think I steadied the ship when I went in. But you know, it is a disappointment that I didn't get the money, because I thought we were only one maybe 2 players short if Snodgrass had gone.
How's your history with Steve Evans?
I don't really have. I don't really remember much about it. We played him at QPR early this season when I was in charge, and it was a tough game. You know, we come out on top, but it was a tough game. They were a solid side, you know, which I'm sure they will be. Difficult to break down, and but the backing was fantastic. I mean, there were a few choruses of names which I can't talk on a family programme, what they called me, but I'm sure. You know, they'll be vociferous on Saturday. Yeah. The one thing about Leeds is the fans, they're unbelievable. I mean, they sell out every away game. We went to Cornwall as well. I always take my teams to Cornwall. We played Torquay in a game. There were 3,000 fans there to let them have the ground, really, at Torquay. One day I said on the Twitter, well, not Twitter, on the club, on the club call thing, we're training at this particular place. If you want to come, anybody in Cornwall, well, you've never seen anything like it. There were about 1,500 people in cars and cars. In fact, if I'd have known, I'd have got one of them burger vans. I'd have made a fortune.
He's not joking. He's not joking. There's going to be a lot of eyes and cameras trained on the touchline as well, with the nature of you 2 guys, you and Steve Evans. You can get quite excited, can't you?
Well, we're both a bit passionate. I mean, I'm glad in a way that the dugouts are away from each other. That's clever thinking, that really.
Yeah, they did that especially for Steve.
Yeah, so it's you know, it's good in that respect. But you know, I don't know many managers that don't want to win, and you know, on the bench when the whistle goes, it's all about that. It's not about the media or anything else. It's what your lads are going to do.
Yeah, Neil. In case you're wondering, the stats. I underestimated the number of games at the start of the show. He's played for 8 clubs. I think I'm right in saying he's managed 14, including non-league, and his win ratio is over your career is well 40% according to the stats I've seen, which ain't bad, is it really?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't, you know, the stats, like I say, I didn't think I'd ever get to 1,000, so to get to that sort of figure, it's great. I do get tired, you know, when you younger lads like Nick and what have you, you know, I might close my eyes and nod off for 10 minutes in the afternoon, but people do at my age, don't they? Yeah, you know, you've got to just accept it.
I do.
More than that.
I do every
an hour.
An hour, yeah. You're injured at the minute, aren't you? Because you've been carrying an injury for some time, and you got knocked out quite early in the British Championship.
Yeah, we had the British Open last week, which is sort of the Wimbledon of squash. I lost in the last 16, which was sort of the earliest exit I've had in a major tournament for a while. It was disappointing because it was one I tried to sort of tailor my schedule around each year, that and the Worlds, really. Carrying an ankle injury sort of since April last year, so the best part of a year now. You know, working night and day on the solutions and, you know, trying to avoid operations and surgery at all costs, really, because things like that at 35 could mean it's career threatening. So on a sort of a 6-week rehab block at the moment, means I'm missing the next 2 tour events, but hopefully going to be fit for our tour finals, which are in Dubai this year. So sort of like the tennis has it at the O2, our tour finals are in Dubai. I've qualified for the last 8. So that's going to be exciting. It's first year of, I think, a 5-year contract in Dubai for men and women. So excited for that, because that'll take the sport again in that region of the world a bit higher. So.
It's quite a gruelling global schedule that you have when you look at all the tournaments around the world now in squash. You're seldom at home, are you, really?
Yeah, the next one's in Egypt. It's going to miss that one. One after that's in Poland. Looking unlikely for that one, but hopefully back for Dubai and
Excellent.
end the season. That's the end of the season. Then squash season sort of mirrors the football season a little bit. So I've got till September pretty much after that to really get 100%, and hopefully I'm the oldest player on tour pretty much already.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
But still battling away and still enjoying it, still doing myself justice, still in there. I think the fact that I've sort of been carrying a bit of an injury, but still reached a few finals, won the British Nationals, gives you hope that if you can just sneak an extra 10%, you can be up there again and see what happens.
And Neil's still going strong at 60, 67 now, and
I try and go back a year each year now.
you're not the only one. Aston Villa.
Good club.
Yeah, you were asked this on TalkSport yesterday. I know this by Alan Brazil, I think. So you gave quite an interesting response. Actually, didn't say a lot, but you didn't what you didn't say really. Rotherham till the end of the season, and Aston Villa are
the same thing, really. I mean, I don't think you can judge. You can tell what's around the corner. If you'd have told me 3 months ago that you'll end up as Rotherham United's manager, I'd have thought you were going twisting around, around the old loopy. But here I am. And so, and I never write anything off, and I never say no to it, but I'm committed, to the cause here, and I'm really enjoying it, and I want to take it to the end and get a success, keep us up. But you don't know what's around the corner after that. So I don't think you can start saying this, that, and the other. I think you've just got to, let's get this out of the way.
If you keep Rotherham up, would you be interested in staying in that event?
What I'm saying to you, Alan, is I won't say anything about anything, really. I think what I'd want to do is, talk's cheap, really.
But you talked about bland football managers.
But talk's cheap. And I think the job is the hardest job I've ever had, this. To keep us up, it will be the biggest achievement as I've had. So to do that, let's focus on that first, and then let's worry about everything else after. It'll take care of itself after.
All right. You've had 4 wins and a draw, back-to-back. Absolutely remarkable run. For those who don't know, I don't think there's anybody. You've beaten Brentford, Sheffield Wednesday, Middlesbrough and Ipswich, and you've come back from 3-0 down against Derby County.
Yeah.
So it's got to be, even in the whole of your career, it's got to be one of the best sequences, sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't get really sequences like that. I mean, I'm talking Alan Brazil, when I first took the job, and he said to me, "What on earth are you doing? I've looked at your next 7 fixtures, and they were all in the top 6."
Yeah.
I think there was what he said, you could be relegated in a month. I said, I know, Alan, but it's the way I am. I just felt I've always been like that. I mean, I turned Chelsea down to stay loyal to Notts County when we got to the top flight, and then I got the sack 6 months later. Yeah. So I've never really done anything logically. I've always done things that I felt was right. I felt,
instinct.
Yeah,
on instinct.
And sometimes, I mean, it's cost me a few quid.
Yeah.
Football's cost me a few quid by shaking people hand instead of getting things written down.
And also fines.
Because I've done that. Well, fines. That's that's another matter, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, we won't go into that.
I mean, I'm on first names with the FA, with the disciplinary department.
Looking at the rest of the season fixtures, they look, easy is the wrong word, but they look on paper less challenging. You've just got Hull. What a finale, final game of the season, so KC Stadium.
Well, you say that, but as I've said to the lads from day one when I come here, every game will be absolutely difficult. We'll have to be on our maximum to get anything out of any game, and we've managed to do that. But can we maintain the maximum? Then I don't know,
Hope so.
We've got to try. And all the games, there's no such thing as an easy game now. If the mid-table, they're trying to get a new contract, they're trying to keep the jobs as managers. At the bottom of the table, the relegation and getting out. Top, they're trying to get in the playoffs. So there's no real, I love the Championship. I think it's got everything. And I realise what I missed, and it's an honest group of players like this, which I had at Bramall Lane. I had a great bunch of lads.
And we're going to talk about Sheffield United after
Sorry
James.
about that,
Yeah,
Nick.
what were you going to say, Nick, just before
No,
we
no,
go
no,
on?
I'm on about Sheffield United. We're going to talk about Sheffield United.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
I was just going to say what Neil said there. But, you know, you've got a good team. You're working hard for each other. And the thing I've noticed, just following it from a distance, is then on top of that, if you've got someone who's a goal scorer, and I've seen sort of when I've watched Rotherham, I've always thought Derbyshire should have been at a higher level, and he looks to me one of those. Put him in a good team, he'll score 20 goals because he's that sort of poacher, and he's played at a high level and he's played Champions League. So to me, it looks like you've always got half a chance, haven't you, if you've got that sort of a player. So.
You take an interest in quite a lot of sport, don't you? And you write a column even in the Sheffield Star. No, it's brilliant. It's fantastic. Have you got your eye on that as longer term?
Yeah, it's a massive passion of mine.
Yeah.
Want to be a Question of Sport captain? No.
Yeah, well, you've been on Question Sport 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, his record speaks for itself.
Yeah, played 3, lost 3. So
you've been on once or twice?
Yes,
Question Sport?
I have, just once.
That
was enough for me. I mean, I bluffed my way through a few answers.
Did you? Were you on the
it was one of them. There was one of those. Is it the him, and I guessed right. I mean, I ain't got a clue really.
Good.
So it was, but I did enjoy it. But you know, I could manage under 60,000 fans. You know, and I never get as nervous as I did at Question of Sport or Hallam University. When I did a lecture at Hallam University.
Got nervous about that?
I got really nervous, yeah, you know, with the lights and all that. But once I get into it, I enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how adrenaline, isn't it?
Out of the comfort zone, isn't it? It's the same with me.
And
I
also,
can play.
people expect you to know, be an expert on football because you've been in it all your life. And sometimes it's not that easy, is it, to pluck these
No, I think
I got the squash question wrong last time and got it right on Tiddlywinks, I think. So that sums it up.
James, bring us up to date and everything else.
I will
this
do,
guy's a
yeah. I'll
mine of
get through it really
information. Go
quickly,
on.
but
No, it's all right.
well, Sheffield Wednesday back in action this weekend against Huddersfield. You're there, aren't you, for TalkSport, Alan?
I am, yeah.
Of course, their last outing, Huddersfield, was a 4-1 drubbing at Ellen Road of Leeds United, so that bodes well for you, Neil, and also well for Wednesday on Saturday. And Sheffield United, well, game over for them, isn't it, after that loss last night against Southend. That was televised.
You think so, but I've seen Nigel Adkins' Twitter.
Yeah,
He's
he
absolutely
suggests different. He says that Blade should never give up. So,
well, they shouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't expect him to say, well, that's it, throw the towel in. But at the same time,
might keep his mouth shut, maybe.
is he wise to be...
But I mean, you don't know what's going through your mind. You know, you're so disappointed at losing last night, aren't you, really? Yeah. And you guys are the media, straight away, you'll be in his face, asking him this, that, and the other. And you've got to, you've got to be positive.
Yeah,
and it is disappointing because I thought they'd automatically get promoted this year. And it's a good league next year, the Championship. There's going to be some money in that, isn't there? When you look at, could be Newcastle, Sunderland. You know, I'm not saying it will be, but you've got Aston Villa, haven't you? Yeah. So there's some big teams going to be in that league next year.
Missed opportunity, it seems. We'll come back to Neil on Blades in a minute.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll look at non-league football now. Well, Hallam FC, good 5-1 win the other night against Worsborough. 5 games left, right on the cusp of the playoffs in that league. And Selby are the visitors to Sandygate this weekend. Across the city, though, Sheffield FC, well, they're on a bad run. They're four defeats on the spin. They play against Kidsgrove tonight, so they'll be kicking off in about 2 minutes' time. Rugby League, 4 straight defeats for Mark Aston's Sheffield Eagles, and he's offered some stern words to some of his players. He's also offered an apology on the club's website today for the poor run of form. Hopefully they can get back into a good run of form this weekend against Bradford Bulls, who also formidable side once about 15 years ago, but now they're flailing in the Championship along with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are 8th and the Bulls are 7th, so a big game this weekend, a good chance for Mark Aston's men to right a few wrongs this weekend. Rugby Union, well, Sheffield Tigers, good chance for them to get promoted. A weakened side, absolutely steamrolled, easy for me to say, Stockport last weekend. 64-15 the score, and they play against Burnage this weekend, hoping to wrap up the title. And Birkenhead are the visitors to Abbeydale Park on Saturday. Well, we'll finish off with some individuals. Obviously, Nick's talked us through his playing schedule, hopefully for the next few weeks. We'll talk about Joe Root, helped England to the World Cup final on Sunday, of course, in the 2020. He's got the second most amount of runs out of any batsman in the whole tournament. good luck to him. Kell Brook, well, his third defence of that world title that he nicked off Sean Porter 3 years ago, still in his hands. It only took him 2 rounds to breeze past Kevin Bizier last Saturday at the arena in front of a bumper crowd. Lots of disappointed folks, I think.
Deserve better. A mismatch from what you hear.
Well, you know, the big talk now for Kell, he's going to need that big fight, doesn't he? He needs that big fight, relying heavily on Eddie Hearn, his promoter, to try and get, you know, why can't Amir Khan happen? We'll see how that one pans out coming into the summer. Maybe even a fight at Bramall Lane. We'll have to see about that. And also, as Matt Fitzpatrick prepares for next week's Masters at Augusta National, he's been playing there today in preparation. His brother's received some good news on the golfing front as well. He's one of 2 Englishmen to be selected to play in the prestigious Thunderbird International in America later on this month.
Let's hope it's all FAB.
Absolutely.
Good luck to Matt and all the guys, and best wishes as well to Nick Blackwell and also to Sheffield's own Harold Bomber Graham, both of whom have been in the wars for various reasons. And Nick Blackwell's making, there's hopes of a good recovery from that fight. And Harold had a burst appendix.
Yes, he did, but nasty stuff.
Absolutely, he's been in hospital, so best of luck, guys.
Yeah.
Best wishes for a speedy recovery. Sheffield United, we wish them a speedy recovery as well, because it's been too long. 5 years now in League One, which you could never have envisaged, Neil, could you?
No, I think the stability of the club, you know, it was everything was in place, I think, to take the club onwards again. I thought the squad, when I left, was as good a squad as you're going to get in the Championship. I think that was the big chance they had of going straight back up. But it just seemed to be one thing after another, really, that's disappointed people.
When you left in 2007, it was kind of dressed up as mutual consent, and you left following relegation after a season in the Premier League. I'm putting it to you now, was that really mutual consent?
Well, yeah, I think in a way it was, because I remember saying to Kevin, I think I should give it a miss now, and you find somebody else, and you seem to say, okay,
right, okay,
that's it, on your bike.
Right.
So,
do you regret saying that now?
Well, no, I did feel like that, but to be fair, once Kevin said that, what he said.
Yeah, do you think he should regret saying that?
I don't know whether he regrets, but once he said that, I thought, well, you've made the right decision, because he didn't want you. No. You know, that's what. So and I think the quickness and the way that Brian Robson came in was, showed people. I think showed that they'd already sorted it out there.
Yeah. And so, you were there 7 years, and you referred earlier to 7 years of real progress, finally getting promotion. But you had great seasons before that.
But it wasn't just that. It was building the academy from nothing.
Yeah.
And I remember Kevin saying to me, we've got this amount. Which could have the team or the academy, and both of us, because Kev's a mad Sheffield United guy, and I said to him, get the academy built, let's spend the money on that, and we did, and it's a fabulous achievement up there, the academy. So, they've done it the right way. It's just, football is not a game of, you can't write it down and get success, it's something just happens.
But even before that promotion season, there was that fantastic 2002-2003 season, 2 semi-finals, obviously lost in the playoff final at Cardiff. But that's one of those occasions that you're talking about, isn't it?
Oh, it was amazing.
What a season.
The Old Trafford game, the fans were, we were the best team against Arsenal.
Referee got in the way there.
Graham Polley, cost me $4,000 that, I think, seeing Graham after the game. A legend in his own mind.
And then that save from Seaman.
Great save. Pesky should have scored, really. Yeah. I know it was a fantastic save, but he should have scored. But we played really well that day, and to lose to a goal like that, still rankles with me. But I thought same with Liverpool. To be 1-0 down and getting battered, and then Tongi scored 2 goals at home, and the away game, their goalie Kirkland. Yeah. I'll never forget it. Should have got sent off for handball outside the area.
Right, yeah.
But the referee, Liverpool at home, it's scandalous, really.
We could fill the last 4 minutes with referee stories, but Sheffield United, in your time, had this stability and continuity, all those words which football needs and wants. Since then, it's been anything but. I think it's been 8 or 9 managers since your time. Have Sheffield United lost their way in that respect?
Well, it's all right from the outside. It's difficult for chairmen, and they've got to make a decision. They've got to pick the manager, and it's not easy. I don't think there's enough football clubs that have got people that are no football. really, and I think that goes everywhere. You know, at QPR, where I was, you know, who knew football really away in the boardroom?
You had Derek Dooley at that time.
Derek Dooley was fantastic. You know, great man. One of the best men I've ever met in my life, Derek. And the club itself was a real together, you know.
Yeah,
and it's not easy to generate that. You know, I think it's. You only realise, you know, I always used to say to people, you'll not realise what you've got till I've gone, you know, as a joke.
But do you think they actually do think that, though? Many people now.
Well, I'll always have a soft spot.
Would you ever go back?
Well, I mean, once again, it's what you said about Villa. You're there again, aren't you?
I am.
I mean,
there again.
I'm here till May, and whatever happens after that, and you never say never about anything. You know, you can't afford to. I think life's too short.
Depends what his wife says.
Yeah.
We'll ask Sharon, shall we?
I think so. I think that's the situation. You might get more. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised, sorry, that more journalists don't ring Sharon really rather than me behind the door and get the real talk.
Now you've suggested it. You better change your phone number.
The one thing I will say is it's a great club. To tell you a quick story. When I did my 1000th game at Emirates, and we were there, and we'd had some great battles with Arsenal. Jagielka had gone in goals, and we won 1-0 with Nardi goal, a brilliant goal, and we were fantastic that night. The floodlights and the rain coming down. Anyhow, 1000th game we're at the Emirates, and the dugouts are miles away from each other, you know. And I'm talking to Arsene Wenger before the game in the centre circle, and he's up here, Arsene. He's bigger than you think, isn't he? So I'm saying, Arsene, look at the dugouts. You'll never hear me today, will you? He just looked round and he's like diplomat, you know, and he's got that aura about him, hasn't he? And he looked at the dugouts and he looked back and he went, Neil, you will find a way. And I thought, that just typifies him. He never, in his own way.
And you did.
And I did.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. It's lovely and exciting to have that kind of open-ended view of your future when you're 60, 67, isn't it?
It is, because I did think I'd packed in.
Yeah.
But one or two things have whetted me appetite. I love working with Alan Brazil. On talks, but I've got a little studio at home which I can do at times. So I do it from home.
Not very good for expenses.
But it's great to come out in your pyjamas and watch the kingfisher come down or the ducks on the pond, and you know, and doing my radio show at the same time. How many people can do that?
I didn't know you got a studio at home. Well, next time we have him on, we'll go down to Cornwall.
We'll go down to Cornwall.
Yeah,
instead.
And Nick, what's your immediate schedule then?
Rest, rehab. Trying to further my education. The other side of things as well, I've been obviously squash not yet an Olympic sport. I've been asked to front a series of interviews for ITV with Yorkshire Olympic hopefuls, so the likes of Nicola Adams, Brownie Brothers, Jess, if she ever replies to the email.
So you have that problem as well. It's not just me.
So trying to further my education in that, and sort of that's going to be enjoyable. I'm going to get in the boxing ring with Nicola. Possibly, you know, I heard the Brownleys, they've got this underwater treadmill in the back garden, oxygen chambers. You know, try out their techniques, learn from them, and interview them ahead of the sport. So that's exciting, something to keep me occupied while I'm
fantastic.
rehabbing.
Perfect. Yeah. Are you going to get involved in anything like that? No, you've got plenty on.
I've got enough on my plate.
Plenty on. I've just got to thank these guys. James, thank you to you for rounding everything up. It's been absolutely fantastic, both of you coming in, Neil and Nick. Second time in Nick's case, you never know, you see. You can never say never. You might even come back, Neil, and we might go down to Cornwall. Best of luck as well for the rest of the season. Thank you to you for watching. There's a repeat at 11 p.m. If you've just come in and you've missed it, don't miss it, because it will be on my YouTube channel. And we'll see you next week as well. See you. Bye. Bye.